So, you might remember last time, after banishing Dyrrn briefly in the middle of the battle, um, you all gained a very brief chance to realign yourselves. Akko cleansed Pontifarlin's mind once more, and he told her that likely the only way to truly defeat Dyrrn the Corruptor would be to damage him with radiant energy, something given from the gods. And armed with that knowledge, Akko cast her Spirit Guardians, and when Sindrine released her spell, allowing him to return, it only took a few rounds. Despite most of the Warflayers being knocked unconscious, Dyrrn was eventually slain well and truly by a well-placed arrow from Kundrar, his body failing to regenerate after the radiant damage. Now, Akko spent time reviving the Warflayers while the rest of you searched around for loot. You found a small chest keeping locked within it a power stone, which was beyond your abilities to safely use just yet. You also found a great sword, the Sword of the Golden Scorpion, and as well took a few trophies from Dyrn's corpse. Leaving the lair, you quickly enough moved past the chasm again, flew over the mushroom forest of the vaulted plateau within the Underdark, catching a glimpse of the various drow beginning to emerge from their strange state of who knows what it was. Avoiding once again in the tunnels the gelatinous cube, you returned to Pontifarlin's place of imprisonment, exhausted but feeling closer to the surface than you had been in quite some time. And that's where we picked
2 days.
Exactly, quite some time for you guys. Man, it's been like hours.
I checked that sword, that scorpion sword, and I think I'm not the perfect person to wield it, since if I try to use full potential of it, including like transformation into a golden scorpion, I can't actually use the staff of swarming insects and use it on Mr. Jefferson, and I value his help way more than my potential combat damage or help. So if anyone is feeling that he's capable of using it to its full potential, I'm super happy to give it away.
Well, now that you mention it, I am proficient with all manner of swords, long sword.
Yeah, and I thought
short
about
sword.
you because Moish, you usually are lacking hit points, and this is like a second pool of hit points for you, you know. Plus, on top of that, when you transform into the golden scorpion, you retain your intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores, so which are really high for you, right?
Well, intelligence is high, wisdom and charisma not so high.
Well,
okay.
Probably higher than the default one from the scorpion, from the giant
scorpion.
I
wouldn't be so sure of that as well.
Still, if you would like to try it, take it.
Thank you so much, Philofus. I accept it.
I don't know how to transfer it though.
Neither do I. It's like the South Park World of Warcraft episode. You're holding out the swords, I can't take it.
Exactly.
From what I've heard, the D&D Beyond is working on that actually, which is going to be so cool once it is implemented. But in the meantime, yeah, Moish, you can just add that. Technically, you can't because it's taller than you are.
Hey, I can wield long swords. It says here on my profile.
Sword, it's a great sword.
Well, that's an issue.
Yeah, that is an issue.
Well, we know someone who's capable of doing some stuff.
No, but he has the wings, right?
We're thinking about shrinking it. We know someone who can shrink stuff.
Every time Marlena has to concentrate.
No, all I need to do is transform, but I can't carry it really. It's probably like the way too unrealistic.
Yeah.
Coco has the staff, Merlina has a staff, Kalen has wings, Valadrin has his sword, Philofus has his staff. Moish is the only one without a magic weapon, and he can't use the sword that we have left over.
Maybe it's a miniature great sword.
Maybe if we just, break like the tip of it or something.
That's an idea. No, we could probably like put it on the Worgen or something, so the Worgen can shapeshift.
Yeah. Oh. That's an idea.
Yep.
We can think about how to shrink it.
It turns into an AT-AT walker.
Kundrasha says, well, you might be able to ask a favor of some of the guilds that specialize in these sorts of things and literally reforge it, but do not break the magic or reapply the magic. I would say after what you have done for the city that they would be more than willing to help you with that.
Actually, that is an idea I didn't even consider for some reason. Thank you, Lady Kundrasha.
We should be moving back, though. There's no guarantee that the destruction of Dyrrn has immediately ended the threat upon the city. It just means that they are perhaps leaderless. I hope the tide will have turned by then, but it would be nice to return as swiftly as we can.
Indeed.
Yes, let's go for it.
Okay, so you continue on, and at this point, it's not taken too long. You flew for a while, and that saved you some time. So you're maybe only 4 hours past waking up. Over the next few hours, you progress upwards, slowly going through the various parts of the Underdark. Kundrash and Valadrin help you find your way back with very little issue. I need, though, someone, and choose who it's going to be, to roll a d20.
We don't even know what the d20 is for.
No.
Already rolled.
Okay.
17.
17.
Yeah.
Okay, let me find what this is.
That was a Warhammer leadership check.
That sort of a thing.
That's just the first initiative roll.
Uh-huh.
Well, Sophie and I rolled a 4 between the two of us.
Well, this isn't necessarily the kind of thing that matters for. There it is. I almost lost the document. Okay. 17, you say?
Yes.
Okay.
The 17th card from the deck of many things says...
Okay. As you are traversing back across the space, this acrid smell hits your nose, and Moish, you remember collecting some of that liquid the last time you passed through here.
The one that was dripping from the ceiling, right?
That pool has expanded and covered in a large kind of pond formation the path ahead, covering a distance of about 50 feet from where you stand.
Wasn't that from some sort of huge worm or something like that?
It's nuclear waste, but we can presumably fly over it, right? Like, we weren't flying because the spells only last up to 1 hour at best, and it could be less than that. But now we could probably fly over this lake, right?
Aren't we flying currently?
You weren't currently flying. It's narrow confines. It's not that one cavern made a lot of sense to fly through, but mostly it's, imagine being like the size of 4 cows together and trying to fly with an even wider wingspan through cave system. You can't. It's hard. You can't even flap properly. So you can glide a bit, but you're now going upwards. It's hard.
Can I try to put one of the arrows into it to see if it's like acid or something?
Yeah, we did that before. It was very,
Did
very
we?
acid. Yeah, very. I have it in my vials, like marked off.
Oh,
my
right,
page.
right. I remember. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's up to you.
Actually, do I? Oh yeah, 3 vials of very acid, all capital letters, poison.
Yeah. Mm.
Very acidic. Should change that.
So you feel like, it's 55 feet, so you can't necessarily like jump over it, but you could figure something out of like the wharf flayers carrying you across, but what do you want to do?
Well, we have our spells. I'm sure we could fly and row over it. Is it still dripping from the ceiling wash?
Is it?
Make a perception check.
I mean, I have dark vision. Natural one.
You
With an advantage, maybe, because of
because of what?
the fact that he can see in the dark.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't necessarily give advantage. I mean, it's hard to see. Black tar dripping from a dark surface,
No, but we would hear, right, if it was.
Yeah, and in your perception check, you can't really hear.
Yeah, we're all talking. You can't hear jack shit. It's like, shut up, guys! I'm trying to listen.
Akko's stomach rumbles a little. She hasn't eaten in a while. Kaelin, at that noise, like pushes in his bag and hands her a bit of food.
Yeah, I'm playing harmonica. Yeah.
Kaelin at this stage says, "Oh, I've forgotten this. I have a treat for you all. Well, not all of you, unfortunately, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of you.
Oh yeah, what's the treat, Cleveland?
Well, it's that food that you ate of mine yesterday. I made another batch in the morning.
How nice of you.
Well, give it a try. They're sort of and they're like these little. They're balls of food. You're not exactly sure what they are, but he gives
Protein
one.
spheres.
No, he says, well, they're sweet of sorts.
What were those balls that Choji Naruto ate whenever he was fighting?
He would literally eat pills. They were steroids.
Just to say, if you'll need to sit and digest. There's a special formula in these, but if you can take an hour to do so, these will begin to restore you naturally.
Alright.
Do you feel like we should do that right now? For any particular reason?
Well, there's one that you can, on a short rest, actually recover hit points using your hit dice, which you rarely do, but knowing that you have a long way to go, maybe you could. You don't have to. I'm just saying that's one reason to do it. And just so you're aware, if you eat Kaelin's special food during that rest, you also regain an extra 1d8 hit points. So while you're using your hit dice to recover, he can give you a little boost of an extra up to 8. It's not a huge thing, but it's a little bit of help.
Like, just that on its own can recover me fully.
Honestly, that's not a hint to do a long rest or a short rest. That's literally just Kaelin remembering that Ak went hearing out stomach grumble.
But he handed out these, like, dumplings to us. We can eat them whenever we like before we take a rest, right?
Correct. He says, well, they'll probably go off by the end of the day, but...
Okay, in that case, no more sheets us now.
Yep. Can I have one?
Let's take a short rest, guys. Use 1 hit die.
And we add 1d8, right? Right?
So, short rest. Let me click on that on someone who needs it. So, short rest, you can use your hit dice. So, click on short rest first.
Then I'm gonna use 2d8 to see how much we recover.
Have this many...
Seriously, 3
fixes you can...
between the two of them.
Why do I have so many, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I should have retroactively used more hit die, like throughout this whole thing. I just realized I have like all of them available.
Well, that's the thing. You guys have been doing sort of like do something crazy and then take a long rest.
Yeah.
Now you're in a position where you're not sure if that's going to carry forward. So using an hour to recover while you're feeling relatively safe is maybe a good idea.
When I clicked on take a short rest, I have this barred hit die, and below it like 14 slots.
Yep.
You can use 14 hit die in that case. I mean, I have like also 10 rogue and 4 wizard ones, and I decided only to use one rogue one for some reason.
So I just select it and then take a short rest, right?
Yeah.
Well, does it do it for you automatically? I don't think it does.
No, you need to roll. You select how much you use and then you roll them.
Yeah. So,
How many you use?
Yeah.
Let's say 1. Take a short rest. And reset maximum HP changes during this. No. Take a short rest. Confirm. And then I roll 1d8, correct? Correct. D8.
Yeah, it doesn't do it for you, but
Yeah. Roll. 7. Good.
so the idea is that resets every rest. So this is a way if you don't have a cleric in your party and she doesn't want to burn her spells to recover in between. All right, so Valadrin also needs to take a short rest. He gets D10s plus 2. Wow, rangers. All right, or fighters, I guess. Oh.
I still have dimension door too. I can bring Akko or Moisha with me to the dimension door. You can step 500 feet forward.
I still can polymorph myself. Yeah, I still have 1 charge.
Would you be a bat?
Whatever needs to be. I can be whatever needs to be for the carrying purposes. I suppose giant owl or giant eagle is the best one, since I can not only carry someone on top of me, but also like grab it with my claws.
Okay.
Sorry, we have a lot of people that are NPCs.
And some of them aren't even people.
I would actually consider if we can maybe create some sort of bridge. Like, wait.
Well, out of warflares.
For example, yeah.
That's actually true. I can mold the earth, but I can only do it for... Well, actually, I can do it at will a lot of times.
Okay, I just like to point out that I have no idea if it's still dripping from the roof. That doesn't mean that it isn't. I just have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, you do remember that where it was dripping from when you passed through the first time was off to the side. But it does seem like something else happened in the meantime while you've been gone, because it was like a slow drip when you passed by.
Yeah, now there is a
How
lot.
about, okay. How about if we just take, because I have a feeling that as soon as we are in the middle of it, something's gonna try to eat us.
Like the dam is gonna break, the ceiling will collapse, and the radioactive lake will fall on our heads.
You know,
Exactly. Maybe we can just minor illusion ourselves that someone that tries to go through.
Can
Or
you
just-
polymorph into someone who's resistant to acid?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
Generally,
I don't know.
I don't think so. Or if you morph into like one of the creatures, right?
Yeah.
Can he morph into a gelatinous cube?
I don't think so.
And we already established that he's not gonna have inside the dome. So.
On that note, maybe the gelatinous cube showing up in this is related somehow.
Well, I repeat my offer of dimension door.
I can also polymorph myself into a giant ape and throw every single one of you
Yes.
to the other side.
Baseball pitches to the other side. Style.
I mean, it would be good if someone could try to catch me there, but...
Sidrine says, polymorph doesn't always have to be a huge creature. We could also, as you've done before, polymorph into scorpions
Flies
or
and mosquitoes.
spiders and sit on someone's shoulder to carry across, meaning that would be easier for Dimension Door, for example.
Yeah, I could carry a bunch of mosquitoes for dimension door. In fact,
Okay, so how about this? Coco carries Moish, and then on Moish's shoulders, Philophus and Sandrine are like in mosquito form or scorpion form.
Just for you to know, I also have Dimension Door. So, and just one...
Well, Moish says, I'm ready to be Dimension Doored whenever you decide the order.
That sounds dirty.
So what are the, not the Warforged, but Warflayers gonna do?
Are they acid resistant?
Probably not.
Well,
Yeah, in fact, they might be vulnerable.
I mean, Falchion says, no, acid and metal don't always mix that well, really.
I mean, come on, Falchion, have you tried?
Yes, actually.
Yeah.
He lifts up his arm, and then just in the back there's like this patch of corrugated metal. He's like, an acid arrow hit me during one of the battles. It's never really healed.
Okay, well...
That is...
I don't want to tell him this, so I whisper in the walkie-talkie, I say, so we can dimension door us across, guys, and then we can do a moldy earth for the war players and see if anything collapses on them while they pass through. I don't know.
What's the range on mold earth?
30 feet, but it's a cantrip, so I can do several.
Right, it's more that you'd have to do on one side part of the way and then dimension door and then do the rest of the way. You'd have to do that logistically.
Yeah. Thank you, my love. It's beautiful.
All right. So
Shall we do that? Or do we have a better plan?
Wait.
I know. How about this? I start off by molding the earth, maybe, after we dimension door, and we see if anything collapses down on it when the earth is building up, because if there's some kind of trigger or
Sure.
it might. Yeah.
Moish is still ready to be Dimension Doored.
Yeah, go for it, Mush. You ready?
Yeah.
Mosquitoes ready?
I can dimension door also, so I don't think I polymorph.
Can you polymorph someone else?
Yes, no, that's the last slot from 4th level, and dimension door and polymorph uses the same slot.
All right, I want to know what is a normal jumping?
Normal jump.
Like normal jumping distance. I'm reading this in D&D. No, 3 feet. Might be Moish's. I think even he can go a little further than that.
Oh.
What's Moish's?
Jumping
3 feet
speed. Sophie said 3 feet.
Where do you see that?
When you make a long jump, you cover a number of feet up to your strength score.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you have a running start. So 10-foot running start up to your strength.
I mean, my strength is 6, so
you can go 6 feet.
I can go 11.
You can go 11.
Shall I check?
Sure.
What about your philosophy?
Kundarashta speaks up and
Nine.
says, the reason I ask is I can give 3 people the ability to jump 3 times their normal length of distance.
It's not gonna help me. 27 feet is not 50.
Times 27 times 3?
No, 9 times.
Oh, 9. Yeah, I see.
How big is this pool?
You would estimate probably about 55 feet. So anyone that has an 18 strength can make it that way, which is nobody.
None of us.
No,
Nope.
Kaelin could.
Oh, good for you, Kaelin.
And probably one of the Warforged, the Sergeant Hicks, probably also has that high of a strength. So, but that's honestly no. Sorry, I'll stay in character. Says, but really, that is no different from gliding or flying over top as well. So, if we're trying to avoid going immediately over it, what are we doing?
But wait, maybe we just need like a glass boat that can allow us to travel. Because, well, obviously, Moish, what's the container that you keep this acid with?
Well, presumably glass. Actually, I have no idea. I used it for the potion of greater healing before, I believe. Or no, I used it for the previous poison that I ran out of. I think it was like the
one of those. Yeah, glass didn't. It doesn't. It seemed to be contained within the glass just fine.
Yeah, so maybe we just need like a glass, some sort of, I don't know, bark or.
Well, I mean, if there is sand around here, we can melt it. I don't know.
Yeah. What's the cave made of?
I mean, rock. As far as you know, you can
Guys, I
make
think we're overthinking it. Just dimension door me already, says Moish.
Okay, hop in.
Otto, ready? Yes.
Okay, so reiterate what you're doing, Marlena.
I'm taking Akko and any mosquitoes that want to come with me through the dimension door.
Okay.
She just takes random mosquitoes, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, Mr. Jefferson will be super happy about those, but...
Do they have to bite me when I'm saving them?
She's like, stop it, Falafus.
And I'm standing right next to her.
Oh, yeah. Sindrine says, I'm actually out of polymorph for the day, and she waves her hand and then just sort of begins sort of clambering up the wall of the cavern until she's sort of up on the ceiling above you, and says, "I'll take this route," and sort of spider
And
climbs.
of course, she is gonna crawl across the bit that's still dripping.
Well, I mean, she can make a perception check, which she gets 19 plus 4, so 23. She is able to, at least at close range, pick out the
Sounds.
Wherever it might cause an issue. And yeah, there's no particular issue there as she climbs past it.
Show off.
Moish.
Yeah.
So, you're going or not?
I'm on the other side.
Just hop in onto my
Yeah.
shoulders.
Yeah, okay.
Dimensioning Doras.
Okay, so Philofus, Moish, Merlina, Akko, Sindrine all end up on the opposite side.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that Kaelin and someone else can jump.
Yeah.
Sure, Kundarastra casts that so that Kaelin and Sergeant Higgs can at least jump as well.
They can jump 50 feet.
So, where are we heading now?
To the city of Pyron.
What about this? I'm gonna
No,
move.
wait. We need to catch the airship, right? We'll go to the airship
right.
bus station.
First off, you guys, the whole party is not.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold the earth to have the 4 players.
Okay, so first you pull. So
No, the war flares can float. We didn't need to do anything for them.
Oh, right. We forgot about that. At least
I
some of them.
didn't forget about that. You didn't ask me.
right, so the war players they pick up Pontifarlan, Kundarashta, then Kaelin and Sergeant Hagsto Falchion, and Corporal Carrillo. And that's it. That leaves Valadrin sitting on the other side. I'm forever blowing bubbles.
To get over.
Valadrin says, I feel a chasm growing between us.
Oh,
No, I feel a
it's-
dark, poisonous pool growing between us, Moish.
Yeah.
He shouts across the thing.
Is that what you call our father now? Alright, hold your.
You would have had to do at least part of that before you crossed, yeah? Okay. So, Valadrin. Also, making the trip easier for everyone, the stones that Merlina pulls out, there's some hopping that's required. It's not the pure straight to make them wide enough. Yeah, the party gets about halfway across, and everyone tenses for a moment as they sort of inch past that sort of middle of the pool. But you've planted the rocks a little bit, so the stuff has sort of dripped off of them, and though there's a tiny bit of like puddles here and there where it sort of like singes the boots a little bit. It gets across without issue at that stage, and move forwards now. Okay. One more person can choose to roll a D100, please.
I mean, I already rolled a natural one. The odds are that I am not going to roll badly again, right? Right, game? Right?
I mean, you can take that. Right? Just see how you feel.
Well, I rolled 41.
41?
Yes.
Okay.
It's almost a 42.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Ori. I mean, hi, Squirrel. Hi, Cthulhu.
Okay, so where you ended up and how you had to leave this chamber has taken you a little bit off of course. At least that's what Valadrin and Kundarashta tell you. And as you're coming through this other space, you begin to see the signs of coming back into the Drow sort of town or city, but not in a part you've been to before. You come into one chamber that looks to have been an actual room of sorts. There's sort of like the crumbled walls, and it looks much more man or human made. And in the corner, there is a standing mirror, standing next to a sort of a darkened, rubble-filled doorway. It's silver. Its frame is surprisingly clean. It's a little bit out of place, and there is this faint shimmer to it as well.
It is the mirror of Erized.
I had no idea those boots look so good on me.
Mm-hmm. Well, what happens when you look at the mirror?
Make a perception check.
Where do we go?
3.
Man.
That's 3 times as good as last time.
Yeah, 17. 20. No.
20?
6 with extra ones.
Okay.
Wish
So
is enchanted by the mirror's frame. It's silver, right?
it's silver, yeah.
Oh yeah, baby, it's silver.
You mostly examine the frame, and Merlina, you as well. You mostly, you see yourselves in there, and it's not quite that. Akko, you pick up on it, examining it, that what you see, it's weird. There's not a huge difference between what you're seeing in the mirror, but there is some difference. And as you try and pay attention to what it is, it's that the lighting, the background behind your group is slowly shifting backwards and forwards from the current state into a more defined set of walls and lighting.
Like the background's changing.
The background's changing. It's just changing very slowly and subtly, and it's hard for the others to notice it.
Guys, I think
What is it?
the background, the mirror, the back here. This room is changing in the mirror slowly.
Moish looks where Coco is pointing. Like not the mirror, but like in the room. Does he see anything?
In the mirror?
No, but in the real room.
No.
No?
I'm trying to touch the mirror.
Reach out to touch the mirror.
Yes.
Okay. As you do so, it shimmers faintly, but nothing else happens in that moment.
But is it like a normal mirror in terms of like physically?
Yeah, it seems to be.
Solid.
It's solid. It feels a little bit cold to the touch.
So the
What if-
shimmering.
what if-
You do notice that you don't leave any sort of oils left, so there's no fingerprint that you leave on the surface of it.
Guys, what if we try to stand in this room in the place where, when reflected in the mirror, we'd be like in a passageway of some sort?
Yeah, what would that mean if that happened?
Will we like unlock a secret passageway? I wonder. Let's try that.
Okay.
Moish says, but he still doesn't see what everyone is talking about, by the way. He's just hypothetically.
What do you try and do?
Go for it, Mush.
Oh, of course, because I totally get what you guys mean. Moish stands in a completely random location in the room and like mimes.
Akka, you can guide him if you want.
To touch things and then try to
Yeah,
see them?
because you've got your.
Okay, what do I see?
So you direct Moish to sort of continue to back up and back up. So he's getting kind of over towards the shimmer of the mist, if you will, that it sort of coalesces and dissipates again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go and have Moish stand in there.
Yeah, there.
Okay. So you position Moish until he's in the midst of that. At this stage, the rest of you that are watching, you see Moish begin to sort of fade in and out in this pattern as well. Like just
Whoa.
there's like a little
Gnarly.
bit of freeze and his molecules sort of like float away but then recoalesce and are fed in as well.
Curse you, Thanos.
How do you feel? Do you feel alright? Do you feel anything?
I don't feel so good, Moish.
Moish, from your point of view, you notice a little bit of the opposite. The rest of them are sort of, and it's not as pronounced necessarily, but they are sort of flickering out a little bit and then back in and out and back in. You look at yourself, you don't see any change, and sound continues to carry normally.
I mean, from my perspective, you guys are just popping in and out of existence.
What size is the mirror? I mean, can we move it?
I mean, it looks sturdy and heavy. It's a full-length mirror. So you see, ground to ceiling. It's the normal sort of one that's on the two stands. It's not necessarily bolted into the floor, so it potentially could be moved.
Okay, but
Well-
Moish, where Moish is standing, like if he tries to move like further back, he just walks out of the zone, right?
Do you try that?
Yeah.
Okay. As you walk further back, Moish, the space where they are standing, the whole room, the chamber, goes dark completely, and then all you're left seeing is this faint glow from the mirror that's there. The chamber around you is also now in shadow entirely, so you're almost in a
Whoa.
completely dark space. The rest of you see Moish just sort of fade out again.
Moish asks over the radio, guys, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can we?
You cannot.
we can hear you more.
Guys, well done. Can Moish like see? Is like the mirror the only thing that he can see?
Yes.
And we start singing into the walkie-talkie. I don't know if you can hear.
Can I try moving back, like so that Moish stands where he used to stand when he was flickering?
Moving forward.
Yeah.
You move forward now, and you just move towards the mirror.
Oh. Okay then. I keep moving.
Yeah, you come up to the mirror, and there's a silver glow. It still has that magical shimmer. You see in the mirror your friends standing around, sort of like looking back where you were, the chamber. You don't see yourself in the mirror. The rest of you make a perception check as you're looking around for Moish.
Perception, sorry. 24.
Natural 20?
Akko's being
Akko,
receptive today.
Akko, you spot it, because the rest of them are sort of looking around for perception. You're looking around for where Moish went, but you spot him in the mirror. He sort of can see you, and you can see him there, but he's not in the space where he should be. In the mirror.
Moish makes faces.
I'm casting. Wait, where is it?
The mirror. That sounds like that show Keys, where you.
I'm casting True Seeing on myself.
Okay.
As in, you will truly see yourself.
All right, let's see how that works.
We fell off is just see the
My gosh, I am so incredibly handsome.
For the next 10 minutes, Falafis, please. His instruments.
No,
and
it's an
dances
hour.
around.
It's an hour. Okay, so yeah, you peer. How to explain what you see? You see into the ethereal plane as well as secret doors, things that are hidden by magic. There's nothing in the space necessarily that's hidden, but you do see sort of shimmering through and into the ethereal plane. It's a weird thing to feel and see, but you see this sort of almost funnel suction of magic that goes into a point behind the mirror. So the mirror seems to suck into a sort of a suction point, and then it goes out of view at that stage. Mm-hmm. Again, you can see that in the ethereal plane, but make a Arcana check.
All of us?
No, well, he can explain it to you after, but the first insight is his. If he
28.
28, yeah.
I'm the opposite of Moish, actually, with rolls.
Uh-huh.
So just the intuition that comes with it and the nature that you have being from the Feywild anyway, you get the sense that this sort of a funnel would lead to another plane.
Okay, I explained to those that can still hear me through walkie-talkie what I'm seeing and how I feeling it works. So guys, you see the mirror seems to be sucking on it's like a magical vacuum that sort of sucks all like a magic out of us, and there's nothing behind it.
Is there anything you can cover it up with?
I mean, you have your own possessions and cloaks and things like that.
Okay, I'm gonna try to put my cloak over top of it.
Okay. Yeah.
By the way, do I see Moish or?
At this stage, once Akko points him out, you do, and it's weird because the reason that you didn't spot him at first, even with your higher perception, is that it's not exactly Moish, right? It is the colors that make up Moish. If he holds still for too long, they sort of just shift into the colors that are there in the mirror. So it's only if he's moving and stuff that you begin to make out the figure of him. It's like someone wearing one of those fake invisibility cloak type things.
Yeah.
Moish, from your side, as you see Merlina covering up the mirror, you still see them just fine. whatever she uses to cover it up begins to become transparent as soon as it's placed across the surface, and you can see through just fine. While
So
you're
I dissipated my cloak's magic, but not my cloak.
no, it's more that from well, you don't know this.
Okay, but can I see Mosh?
You can spot him in there, and covering it up and removing it. Is that what you do?
Yeah.
He's still exactly where he is.
What about the room?
Can I circle the mirror?
Sure, you can circle the mirror. When you get around to the back side, there's a faint glow that comes from the front of it, but it seemed to just be the back of the mirror. Make a perception check, Mush.
Okay. Nine. Okay,
Nine.
no, fine. I'm gonna use a
Yeah.
lucky point.
Click
Maybe
on
I'll
those
roll
numbers.
up. Maybe I'll roll above 10 for once. Okay,
Click on-
16 plus 2, 18.
You can click on those numbers and then it will be automatically added.
Added where?
Like click on the, I don't know, any like history and plus something you have, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
If you
right.
click on the number on the modifier itself, it will roll a die for you.
Interesting.
And add the modifier, or yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Okay,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
ignore that last one. I rolled a...
Yeah.
So what was this one?
The one I rolled, where I rolled 16 plus 2, 18.
18. Okay, so as you're circling around the mirror, you begin to notice a little more of your surroundings anyway. Your dark vision serves you, so it's dark, but the chamber is not like, you're in a chamber. You're not just in a completely dark space. There's actually a layer of dust underfoot as well. And with that perception check and moving around so the light of the mirror is not in your face, you do notice another light sort of up and behind in the distance.
Interesting. So I presume this is like a pocket dimension with an entrance and an exit where the mirror connects it.
Your own intelligence would lead you to believe so.
All right, well, I'm not sure I want to leave yet. I want to look around this room. Like maybe there is like some artifacts in here. Well, that's just the Genshin Impact player and me talking. But... Okay. I try to look around the room.
Okay.
I like wave at the mirror and like wave bye bye. Walk away.
No. The cloak is covering the house.
No, I can take off my cloak. It's not a problem.
By the way, with the true seeing, how do I perceive the cave itself? Is it the same size as it was before?
You mean, Merlina's?
No. Because when I used true seeing,
I see.
did the shape and size of the cave changed, or did I notice anything different?
No, it appears to be exactly as it is. The only thing is that the mirror here being magical, it gives off glow, but the cave-in on the doorway that led into this chamber, that seems to be quite real. The rocks over which you're climbing, you're more or less out of the Underdark, which is to say you're still in the Underdark, but you're just on the very edge of it. You know that this is the edge of the Drow city. But it's been abandoned for a few centuries at least. So yeah, there's nothing funny about that space.
Okay, you guys think this is, I mean, I'm guessing this is probably leading to the Underdark, right?
How do you mean?
I mean, it's leading to a pocket dimension, why not the Underdark?
I mean, if Moish was there, he would tell Merlina that we are in the Underdark.
Yeah,
Still.
we've been in the Underdark this time. We're coming back up to the surface, but the Underdark is not its own plane.
Well, where would the darkest of the hells be?
So there's the material plane, which is where you live, and surface level and Underdark. That's one thing. Then there's the Feywild, where you went traveling. That's sort of like a mirror image, but more magical, of the material plane. And you know and have heard stories of the Shadowfell, which is this sort of, there's no magic and not much love and goodness either on that mirror image of the material plane. That's not the hells, that's not getting into fundamentals of elemental or good and evil or any of that stuff. It's just the duality, skewed duality of the material.
Okay, so it's that.
You wouldn't necessarily know. Philophus would have just told you that it seems to be that it sucks into another plane, but from what you can see through the mirror, it's hard to say if that is.
Okay, since I had, how I see it is that it consumes or vacuums any sort of magic. Can we try to use like small magic trick, like, I don't know, controlled flames or magic hands, and see how the mirror will react upon it? Like, will it try to suck it in, or will it try to mimic it in terms of, like, will we see it or not in the reflection? Okay, I'm casting a minor illusion of myself that tries to just walk through the mirror.
Okay.
Or no, just tries to touch it, and that's it.
Okay. So this illusion that, minor illusion
is a cantrip,
but it can't move, can it? You can create sound. If you create an image of an object, it's just an image.
Okay, I created just like me, myself that stands and touches the surface of the mirror.
Okay, so the image appears to be touching the mirror.
Yeah,
itself.
correct.
Okay, so as that materializes, you see for a moment Philophus reaching out, or the image of Philophus reaching out to touch the mirror, and then that image sort of gets, it's almost like a shredder. The image is pulled off of its initial plane and not sucked into the mirror, not like a vacuum, but literally just like fed into the mirror in a very clean horizontal fashion. Moish, on your side, you see, you might be investigating the rest of the room, but there's a flare of light that comes, brightening the room around you as whatever is happening on that side happens.
Uh-huh.
Here's a question. Should we continue and go ahead and investigate this other plane, or shall we head back to the city to see if they need our help and bring this mirror with us just in case we could use it to defeat somebody?
Valadrin says,
them.
I mean, I would say that our primary objective is to get Moish.
Yeah, I thought about it also.
Moish can just walk out.
Can he?
Moish?
Moish hasn't tried yet, and he can't hear you.
Well, I'm just gonna wait for Moish to come back.
Marina, he's trapped.
Marina, trapped companions are important.
I was joking about
if Moish was there hypothetically, he would comment about the 2 times she teleported away from the party to leave us to fend off enemies, like almost drown and fight off sharks.
Remember. Running gag, don't watch that. Hilarious.
And what did you do during the last battle? Try to run away with Akko?
I tried to run away without Akko.
All right.
So, do we try to rescue Moish? Yes, we do. Okay. How can we? Okay. So first of all, how did he disappear? He disappeared when he entered that shimmering reflection which Akko could see. Correct?
I wanted to ask before, sorry for interrupting, Philophus, but when the mirror image walked into the mirror, like, do I have it on my side?
No. All that's happened is that the glow of the mirror has gotten brighter and then hasn't dimmed again.
Oh, okay, I see. And the room I'm in is brighter now as well, right?
Correct.
I think it feeds on magic, literally. Interesting.
That's interesting, but you can't communicate that to them.
What if we break the mirror?
No.
Probably Moish will start where he is
Perish.
right now.
But what if he comes? What if
I mean, okay.
inside?
There are listen up. There are two things that we need to discuss. First, my mirror image was eaten by the mirror. Second of all, we need to discuss whether or not we try to follow Moish's steps by going into that shimmering part of the wall that is reflected. One of the two. Or we can just fireball the mirror and see how it's how it's gonna act upon this.
I think that whomever goes to get Moish, or if it's a couple of people that go, we need to have people waiting on the other side, and maybe they should bring like a rope with them, as in wrap a rope around one hand and go in to get Moish. This way they can be pulled back out.
So like,
Yeah, Valadrin says, that might work. I'd offer to try it. Again, Moish sort of shimmered, but the space around him didn't, so maybe some connection can be maintained. And if not, well, I've carried Moish to other places before. We can try something.
What's another plane of existence, right?
Sure.
Okay, wait, but
Wait.
when Moish wait. When Moish is moving, we can
because
see
everyone
him.
is so used to having Moish
Uh-huh.
around, they hear his replicas.
Wait, before you go, we can still see Moish when he is moving.
No, I
Right.
moved to the other side of the mirror and started exploring.
Yeah, but when he was moving, so we can see him, so we can establish some form of communication when you go there.
Well, he can't see us though.
Well, we don't know that.
We don't know that, but all we know that we can see him.
Well,
That's one-way communication at least.
can we see if he can react, like if we all stand in front of the mirror and wave like crazy people, if he waves back?
I do a little dance.
Moish, what are you doing right now?
I'm still looking around the room. I have no idea that they're dancing.
You don't see Moish in the mirror currently.
What's more?
Okay, Valadrin, stop losing time. Take the rope. Off you go.
Right, hold on tight to it. He goes and he sort of looks towards the mirror and sees the sort of fuzzy patch, and he sort of steps into it backwards, again keeping eye contact with the mirror. And
Where's Pontifarland, by the way?
Pontifarland's just sitting there sort of off on the side, not really paying close attention to you.
He's eating the dumplings that Kaelin made.
I mean, you can interact with him if you want. In the meantime, Valadrin then steps back until he starts to fuzz, and then he steps back another time and drifts and disappears away. The rope stays taut, and the end of it is just floating into that space where it's still dissipating, coming back in. Moish, on your side, you see Valadrin sort of step backwards from a few feet beyond the mirror, right? The same place that you sort of appeared within that space, holding the end of a rope. And he sort of looks around for you and back at the mirror. Says, Moish, did anything devour you?
Oh, Valadrin, over here. Well, I don't know where over here is. I'm just some random point in the room looking around.
Good. Can we maybe explore around here later and let's see if we can get this rope thing to work?
Later, but we're in a rush to head to the city. Why do you have a rope around you?
Well, how else will we get back?
What do you mean? Moish has no idea that he might be trapped here. I'm just saying.
Right.
He hasn't considered it.
So, we seem to be in another dimension now, potentially.
I noticed. It's so cool.
But Philopus thinks it might be the one of the other planes of existence, perhaps maybe even the Shadowfell or the Feywild in some ways. And I don't know that we're really prepared to keep you here.
When Moish hears that might be Shadowfell, he tries to cast Mage Hand. Because magic wouldn't work if it's Shadowfell, right?
I'm not sure how that works. You weren't supposed to necessarily find this. Let me see. So if you cast Mage Hand,
Yeah.
roll a d100.
Okay. $29.
29. You go through the motion. So your magic as the fledgling wizard is a little more, you have to follow what's written in the spell book precisely. There's a point where you feel the magic building and you kind of feel it start to dissipate away from you, but then you finish the spell quickly at that stage and the mage hand appears and is at your bidding.
Well, it's interesting. I felt like as if I used more mana than I would usually use, or something along those lines. It started dissipating during the casting process. You might be right. This is Shadowfell. On that,
that's a wonderful discovery.
Did I find anything while looking around the room? By the way,
make a perception check unless you know what you were looking for.
I was looking for anything shiny. Does that help?
No.
Okay, perception.
Something valuable then.
All right, 9.
9. Okay. No.
No, wait, 11.
11?
Yeah.
Okay. The light had grown a little bit brighter, allowing you to see a bit more, and you're able to make out the actual walls of the chamber. It's much larger, and it is. It seems to be somewhat circular, and the one wall that's closest to you has a sort of polished sheen to it, as if maybe marble. But there is a lot of dust on the floor, and the air that you're picking up on is very still as well. Whatever this space is, it's not very exposed to the elements, and it's been untouched for quite a long while.
Well, all right then. Well, I guess it's time to leave, says Moish, and he doesn't head to Valadrin, he heads to the other, side that he noticed previously.
The other side of what?
Because you said opposite the side where you entered into the realm, there was another one where the magic was gathering, and it seemed like
right to the other side of the mirror, and it's back where Valadrin is, sort of up above. You just see a little bit of light from up there.
Yeah, can I try going there?
Sure. I mean, you move over towards that, and you go by Valadrin, and the looking closer into the light, it seems to be almost like a window, or something is broken up there that's letting in some light in some way. It's pretty far up there, though. You'd guess it's maybe 90 feet, 100 feet up.
Wow. It's pretty tall. Huh. Moise just tries one jump, just in case.
Yep. You get about 4 feet of air, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I was about to say. Did you see that jump, Valadrin?
I definitely saw that jump, Moish. That's great. Could we maybe try and...
All right. Yeah, I guess we can try leaving.
Okay.
So why'd you have the rope around you?
Well, let's just see what we can do. And Valadrin sort of tugs on the rope a couple of times. On the other side, you see the rope, you feel the rope tugging back.
Akko, help!
Oh boy.
And then Moish sees Valadrin just get tugged back.
So, no, Moish has grabbed Valadrin has grabbed onto you, Moish. He's not letting you stay put here. And the rope begins to sort of pull him back, but I need both of you to make a strength check.
Oh,
My favorite.
Oh,
wait, no, it's them two.
Wait.
Not you, Moish.
Oh
I
man,
rolled a 4.
I
A 4?
rolled a 3 for my.
Is Valadrin really trying to resist it? Wait.
Yes.
No, they're not trying to resist it, but
Okay.
Bouncy fallen.
there is some.
Since they are apparently having issues with it, can I jump in to help them really quickly?
Sure.
We're not even pulling. We're like
Yeah,
Strength.
honestly, for things like this, should you just give
Just
advantage?
sliding forward.
It's not. No, he wouldn't. Oh no! In that case, they would all be applying their individual strength.
Okay.
My modifier is -1, so it's 11.
11.
The Pontifar and Sindrine.
You see all three of them just tugging in this rope like with all their might. It's not gonna
Well,
get you.
Yeah, the thing is, so the rope is moving towards you, and Valadrin is trying to kind of move with it and not forward, if that makes sense. It's this weird balance because he's thinking in that moment that if he steps forward, he might go out of the mirror's influence in some way. So he has to be sort of pulled back. So he has to let the rope kind of pull him. But you guys are feeling very intense resistance as you pull. So you pull once, and Valadrin's feet sort of slide forward a little bit, and the rope gets shorter on his side. You pull a second time with Philophus' help, and now the rope where it's tied around him is almost completely dissolved in the shadows on his side. And Akko, you can see in the mirror a little bit of what's happening. There is this kind of, I mean, you're trying to pull, but you keep glancing back. You see the shimmering of Valadrin and now Moish sort of in the distance in the mirror. This is the third and final attempt. Pontifarlin comes over to lend his strength since you asked him to.
Someone needs to remind Valadrin to eat less those dumplings.
I was about to say the reason Kaelin only revealed those dumplings to us now is
Yeah.
because Valadrin was eating them all along.
Yeah.
So is Sindrine or Pontifarlin gonna help us? Or...
I mean,
By the way,
Pontifarlin...
Moish doesn't say anything. He just gives Valadrin a judging look.
or
Like,
Kate?
seriously, dude.
Yeah, so Pontifarlin and Sindrine come in and they tug on the rope. With the combined strength of all of you pulling, and Pontifarlin just goes to the front really quickly and kind of like pulls backwards into all of you, causing you all to like put your weight on it extra hard at the same time. And Valadrin and Moish, you are yanked forward, and that is enough to sort of pull you through that fuzzy void, and you end up back in the space.
Oh no, I want to go back!
no. Why?
All right, let's move on. Let's take this bloody mirror with us and let's go.
Guys, I was about to say, it's so cool in the others. It's really dusty though, but it's really cool. I want to explore there some more. Can we take it with us? Like, shrink it?
Yeah, we want to take it with us.
And apparently magic is like stored in there. When I was casting magic in there, I could feel like some of it just dissipate, and like
Yeah,
the
by
room
the
got
way,
brighter as well.
Have you seen my mirror image going through it on your side?
No, but the room got brighter all of a sudden, like, and it
Oh.
didn't get dimmer, so your magic was stored in there.
Huh. Interesting.
And we confirmed, Valadrin and I confirmed that it's definitely Shadowfell.
Oh, okay.
We did we?
Yeah. I mean, Valadrin just, he was in a role, like, with all his theories and, like, Arcana checks.
Valadrin didn't know, but now he does.
But now I do. So, how will we take this with us?
For how long can you shrink this, Merlina?
If she shrinks it for a few minutes, we can just put it in my bag and that's it.
Yeah. We can definitely trade
That
it.
is, if it's gonna be possible to be shrink.
Yeah, it absorbs magic, doesn't it? Can we keep
Exactly.
casting, whatchamacallit? Can we keep casting cantrips at it until like it absorbs the maximum amount of magic?
But what then? What if it breaks? I'm a little bit afraid that it has some sort of capacity upon which it will just break.
I could keep
Like a container when you fill it too much.
Ah.
I
No.
Use it in size for 1 minute. Shall I try,
No,
guys?
but Merlin,
Yes,
remember,
first of all, let's try.
But beware, it absorbs magic. You might be using a spell slot for
Maybe
nothing.
try to touch it from behind, or you know.
All right, I come up to the mirror from behind and I try to reduce it.
Okay, so as you do so, the magical field around it sort of shimmers, and even though you feel like your spell was beginning to take, it then is just sort of, again, it feels like it's sort of pulled in, like pressing your normal magical force gets pressed into a bit of jello and like sort of just pressed through. It's not sucked
Even
so
from the
much.
back?
Even from the back, it has the same sense, and nothing happens on this side.
Can we just carry it,
Yeah.
like
And
2 or more people?
And when we carry it, can we cover it up with some non-magical
Yeah,
clothing?
Oh, by the way, if anyone has dragon shard dust, I can confirm what it is, because I ran out. That would have been the first thing I did, but I checked. I didn't have any left.
Yeah, but you have to touch it to identify it, right? And I'm afraid this spell would be again sucked in.
It is touch-based, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think, guys, let's just take out our cloths and cloaks and magical, and let's wrap it and just put it.
On the other hand, I'm just afraid that if we are even able to somehow shrink it,
If you put it in your bag of holding, it'll cancel the magic of the bag of holding.
No, the bag of holding has its own restrictions, and if we do sketchy things with it, it might just create like some sort of a black hole. It will just collapse itself, and we are all dead. Which, by the way, is a really cool thing to do when we struggle with someone really, really, really powerful.
Oh yeah.
I have a tent. We can put it inside the tent that I have, and then carry the tent.
And just carry it.
Yeah.
Loosely.
How heavy is it? And I'm trying to somehow.
Probably weighs like a ton, literally.
You try to pick it up?
It's a full-size silver mirror.
It's heavier than you expected, even given the metal frame and the glass that you know must be there. But it's not impossible. It's maybe the same weight as one of the Warforged.
Well, maybe have the Warforged carry it. Olafus, let's help me put it inside the tent, and then we can give the tent to the Warforged.
I help you.
Okay. Yeah, and with that, so you wrap the mirror up, you sort of pull it up off the ground. There is a moment of resistance as you begin to lift it, but it kind of, you know, like when a table has been on the ground for too long, it just kind of pops up eventually, and it works. You're able to hand it off, and Lord Mender and, let's say, Madam Fiddle, between the two of them, take it and are carrying it now.
Sweet. All the while though, Moisha's casting the mage hand, like to see if there is a critical point.
Casting.
He's casting mage hands and like touching the mirror.
Sure.
Oh, Moish.
Well, eventually it's wrapped up, but you're able to get, you know, I mean, at least 4 of those in.
Does it keep blowing?
They wrap it up, yeah. I mean, the mage hand, as you cast it and it goes to touch the mirror, and then it just kind of moves into the mirror, and your spell evaporates at that stage.
Wow.
Moish is like...
After third attempt, I bonk him into his head.
Ow.
Stop it!
Okay. So,
and if anyone asks us what are we carrying, we will just say that we are getting back from flea market or something. We just bought it.
Sure.
not conspicuous at all.
That's what Falchion was going to say. Not conspicuous whatsoever.
Definitely given our flying Warforged.
More flares, yeah, the levitating more flares.
It's the version 5.0.
Pontifarland says, as diverting as this has been, can we move on? I'd like to see this again.
Oh yeah.
Let's go, Pontifarland.
Hey, let's go.
Okay.
Hey, let's
Oh,
go.
boy.
Ponty,
Ah,
folly, we follow.
Underdark. Underdark. I don't know Underdark in Spanish.
Underdark.
Right. Um, yeah, that was a totally different reference. I was making a Dora. Never mind. Okay.
I would just say that in Russian even, but it's only.
Yeah, they,
Sobre oscuro.
they were referencing Totoro, but I couldn't remember that in the moment. Okay. You move around the rubble and eventually find your way back into the sort of town city proper. The structures are as in other Underdark places you've been where it's been habitable. The only weird thing is that there's rarely any roofs if the buildings are out. The walls are 8 or 10 feet high, but they don't bother putting a ceiling on because there's not really much weather to protect from, and the culture is just what it is. Other than that, though, it's empty, it's deserted. There's very little sign of life. Whatever you do see chair-wise or tables and stuff is rotted away. It's been centuries since it's been inhabited properly. But you find your way back to the main thoroughfare once more, where the staircases were, and make your way up to finally that landing where you camped the first evening. By this point, with time you spent, it's been maybe 10 hours since you woke up, so it's not too late in the day, but you're sort of it's been a little longer with the long rest, let's say 12 hours since you woke up. But you then begin to see the light of day up ahead of you. No, that's not true, because where you came in is a tower at the bottom of the lake, right? The drained lake. So, no, there's still the walk ahead of you, going up the spiral staircase, up and up. And that takes another, 35 minutes to get up to the top. It's a big tower.
We are
The
scared.
Burj Khalifa.
Not good. I see that.
No, you're out of the Underdark now, and eventually your wary party with the two carrying the mirror as carefully as they can around the spiraling staircase. Don't bump it against the walls. Lady Tinker is, come now, keep it steady. Don't drop it.
Moish is literally enchanted by the mirror, like just hovering, making sure.
Yeah. Lady Tinker feels the same way as well. She is also keeping them on track and taking her leadership position within the group seriously as well there too. Eventually, though, you all make it up to the sort of top of this tower, this broken tower, and the platform there that you were dropped off by Jameson from. It's evening already. The sun has already set, and the evaporated lake around you and below you is eerie, and the sort of what was already dark as part of the Mournlands is continually dark. You do see off in the distance these roaming living spells. There aren't any too close to you at the moment, but they're there. Pontifarlan lets out a sigh, a very heavy, deep breath sigh.
How are you feeling now?
It has been so long since I have seen and breathed real fresh air and seen the sky. What is this above us? What is this barrier of sorts?
I would tell you, but I don't remember.
Kundarashta speaks and says, Great one, it is a great magical battle was fought here. Many thousands perished. Spells are roaming alive and sentient around this space, and light does not fall in full form. A catastrophe that destroyed and ended a previous war a few decades ago. He shakes his head and says, these magical powers.
Oh, you kids getting up to no good.
Magical powers can often backfire in such ways, especially without supervision from the gods properly.
Supervision from the gods, what do you mean by that?
And which gods?
Probably literally means supervision from the gods.
When have the gods supervised magic use?
Magic comes from the gods in some ways. The oldest of the gods, the greater gods, the ones that imbued the planes with magic. Eventually, as part of the natural resonance of things, it split into individual planes, characteristics, and echoing back and forth. But those gods are no longer here.
Well, I mean, my god literally taught me magic. So,
How come the magic is still working if it's not supervised? Was it always this way?
It was the newer gods had been supervising.
The newer gods is in God's
Names. Give us some names.
Dumar.
Gods can indeed be created. It is rare. Hayaku was
Oh, yeah.
the others are Bahamut, of course, the Platinum Dragon. There are a number of them, though it is not always clear if they are aspects of each other or not.
As in, they can all maybe be all one that was divided?
No, more that different cultures apply different names, and some are more
Okay.
than others. The Raven Queen, for example, were a comparatively new goddess. She had a predecessor, of course. Her domain is that of death, more or less, and well, it isn't as if there has not been a god of death before.
Happened to him.
Many stories. The truth of it, not for necessarily me to say.
Can the gods be killed?
Gods can and have been killed.
How? How do you kill a god?
Somewhere Kratos sneezes.
And what exactly makes a god different from a very talented magic user?
Access to the divine gate. Generally, well,
They're able to wield an aspect of some sort, right?
What if we would try that machine we found and try to convert God into a warforged? Would that create another god?
God of the machine.
Yeah.
And
The Omniscience.
I don't know what you're speaking of, but you would find it difficult to have a god incorporate in such a way that you could do much with it here on the material plane.
Okay.
Besides that, as I was saying before, the gods have very little sway here currently. They have not been allowed to supervise these lands.
The barrier has anything to do with that?
You stray perhaps close to that which I cannot speak of.
Well, that's all the answer we needed. Alright then, we're hailing the airship as we speak, by the way, right?
Yeah, of course.
Are we?
or are we sleeping first, guys? It's up to you.
Can you contact Jameson?
I don't want to.
You can.
What did Jameson ever do to
I
you,
can.
Molly?
Not like that.
I think Largen can contact him.
What?
Well,
Why
if you
would I
have this
contact
special relationship with him.
That's what Akko just. But I don't know what you mean.
Oh, don't play it.
I mean, he'll hear the call of your heart, Valagin.
We all could see it.
It's when we're ready.
He goes, Jameson?
The airship immediately comes.
You convince him that their love's a true thing. You hear the call of your heart.
The power of shippers.
But he goes, I will not say that you have, but if he does not respond to my call, I'll be very upset at all of you.
Yeah, of course. I would be too on your place.
We will have shattered his understanding of life, the universe, and everything.
An illusion.
Shippers.
That's a I guess the minor illusion of Jameson. And even better, I put pink sails on the ship that flutter
Boy.
as it approaches.
But if it's a minor illusion, it can't be moving, remember? So you'd have to actually use a spell slot.
It's standing still.
Are you using D&D Beyond? Can you check your spells
it's right
and
there.
slots?
I don't have a spell slot.
No,
So
but
is there-
how
Yeah.
did we agree to contact Jameson, by the way? Did we leave a radio with him? Or
No, I was going to contact him. I'm pretty sure I used up my spell slots contacting Ponty Farland, though.
oh, in that case, yeah, we might need to take a long rest.
Today?
Yeah, I only did it once.
You only did it once? When did you even do it today?
I contacted Ponty Farland.
That was
to
the day
speak in
before?
his head.
Oh yeah, that's the day before.
Oh, okay, I'm fine. Hey, Jameson, yo, we're ready, waiting for you, bro.
The Valadrian is waiting.
Someone is waiting for you.
He, a few seconds later, he goes, oh, hey, I wondered when you were going to get in touch. I was fast and sure, I'll cycle around. It'll probably take me a couple of hours. So hold tight, watch out for spells.
Okay, guys, Jameson said it'll take him a couple of hours, so we need to watch out for spells and hold tight.
Moish immediately cancels his, like, the hand spell again. He's like, I wasn't doing anything.
Jameson always keeps flying off on dates, and then we have to wait like 2 hours for him to come back.
You have to wonder who he's dating around here.
Pontiff says, is there any need for me to stay with you?
I mean, the only benefit would be of arriving with us is that we'd be able to enlighten you on what's what in the city. I mean, as far as we know, at least, we aren't locals.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's a good idea to go alone right now. You've been through a lot of stuff.
I think also there's strength in numbers, and there's things that we can tell you, and there's things that you can tell us that we're not thinking of right now because of how
Because
intense.
we aren't witnessing the havoc that's probably unfolding.
Like, if you go, maybe we could meet up again somewhere.
I will be in the heights. I will be at the top of the city.
What do you guys think? Shall we let him? We're in the heights. Who's gonna take? What if they kill you? Like,
I think you will notice a giant dragon striding around.
yeah, I will, but so will everyone else.
Well, isn't that the point? I am
All right.
free and returned.
Okay, fair enough, Pontiff Farland.
And I will liberate this city if it needs it. And I will make my presence known. Remember that they are going to lose their main form of currency and easy magic.
All right. I hate to interrupt, but I should also just casually mention that most people don't believe you exist. Just
Yeah.
Well, of course they don't. What better way to alert them of the fact that I exist than flying in my dragon?
I would say through those main guilds that
Go for
runs
it.
the city.
I mean, might as well make a dynamic public entry appearance. Like, you know, make everyone aware at the same time. Yeah, sure, go for it, Ponty Farland.
But wait, now that what's it? Dyrrn is dead.
Well,
all of their minds should be clear on that, right? Everybody.
I don't know.
Okay.
If you
I
say-
really think it would be better if we introduce you to those who runs the city, to the heads of the guilds that are running the city, and then you could align with them how to help or what to do next, actually.
Well, I mean, look, all the elites of the city are at least tangentially aware that we are searching, our party was searching for a dragon. So they'd kind of like, they'd be hella surprised, but it wouldn't come out of the blue, right?
Kundarash
No.
says, no, we did not tell anyone of this quest.
That's fair.
Even the Canon who was cleansed and Lord Jerry, they did not know particularly of the dragon.
Lord Pontifarlin, would you be able to take Kundarashta with you, so that she may introduce you to everyone else who runs the city?
That's a good idea.
Indeed, I can take more than I can take at least 4 with me, should any others wish to come. But so Rashta.
I mean,
Well, the war players are.
I was thinking the sergeants actually, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The border patrol. Falcon says, I do think that we could be of use if there's any fighting remaining.
That is true.
Helped immensely here, I like to think, but yes, it would be good to be back home, and if should there be any trouble, we could help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Falchion, Sergeant Higgs, right? And there was a third one? Corporal.
Carrillo, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's 4 people. Exactly.
Yep.
So, yeah, Kundarashta says, well, then I assume we are leaving right away, and I will say to the rest of you again, Rangers of Power, thank you for what you have done for us. We will see you later on this evening, I'm sure.
Thank you, Lady Kondrashta, for your vote of confidence. Stay safe.
She said to Merlina, she says, contact me when you return if you cannot find me right away. Who knows what awaits us, but we will take it one step at a time. At this stage, Pontifarlin in his human form just sort of jumps off of the edge of the tower, and that moment where he sort of dips out of sight, and then the of the dragon comes back up.
I wanted to ride the dragon, but I don't want to leave you guys.
He swoops back downwards and sort of grabs Corporal Carrillo and Sergeant Higgs in his sort of talons, and then does another swoop, at which stage Falchion and Kundarashta sort of leap off and land on his back to sort of fly off, and they progress.
God damn it, that bastard took my mantle. Forgot about it.
Yeah.
It's the start of a vendetta.
I'll get you next time.
Okay, so what are you doing for the next couple of hours while you wait for Jameson?
I'm gonna look around for shiny things.
Sure, make a perception check.
Wish starts reading a book again, because what else is there to do?
16 on my perception check.
16?
Yeah.
It's the top of a broken tower. There's some rubble. That's about it. A little bit of moss.
I rub it in this.
Consent. All right.
I have a small Okay, I have a question. That that whip that I got, it's something that I need to identify?
No, it just kind of works. It's not
great.
because it's unique, but it basically acts as sort of +1 whip, as far as I remember. Yeah.
Great. So I just investigate the eye that I got. I've ripped from the corpse and ask if anyone knows anything about how to transplant an eye.
I know all there is about it. Moish lies with a straight face.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Make
Are
a
you
medicine.
Which one of us?
Medicine. Let's see. +2 for medicine. Could be worse. Could be -2.
You will eventually will just glue it to my normal eye.
Right.
Yeah, they're transplanted.
8 +2. 10.
Well, they did ask everyone you can see.
Alright, so Falafas, I'm currently out of glue.
Yeah,
God damn it. How about duct tape?
okay,
Roll
I got in.
a medicine check.
25.
25.
Yeah.
So feel free to tell him how you would go about actually using this eyeball. What you notice looking over the shoulder is that it does appear to be like not decayed necessarily, right? It still appears sort of vibrant, and there's even like a little pulse of the vein as you look closely at it.
It's alive.
It's alive!
Hey, Akko, do you have any duct tape maybe we could use?
I have snake skin.
What happens if I poke the eye with a Golthias tree stick?
Oh boy.
No, don't do it.
No, I don't do it. I'm just wondering, will it try to parasite the eye and there'll be like an eyeball stuck on the sapling and it's gonna like be able to look around and see what's happening?
Doesn't have an eyelid. Go. "Ah."
I'm not sure I want to watch this. I'm gonna take a nap.
What if Cthulhu investigates? Like, that's not I don't know, what do I do?
You don't know. It's an eye.
Why
It's
did
gross.
I roll medicine? Are
You-
you trying to heal it?
No, Falafas asked if you could somehow attach it to someone in some way and like use it.
That's medicine?
Yeah, I want to replace it with my own eye. I want to awaken my Sharingan.
The Mangekyo, the eternal Mangekyo, sure.
Yeah.
Sindrine says, I mean, obviously the first thing you need to do is cut your current eye out.
Ew, no. Come on, guys.
Okay, just honestly, I don't know how it's done, but in theory, you would need to reconnect your nerve ending with the nerve ending of the eye that you're implanting. How would you go about doing that?
Akko?
I mean, would a healing spell work for it? Like, okay, what if you took out your own eye, put in the new eye, and then cast a healing spell?
Akko?
Blood speak for.
No,
No?
no.
Are you sure?
Yes, you know the theory. The theory is that, as Moish says, there is some way to do that and to reconnect it. But you also know that there's a lot of very fine nerve endings there, and the extraction was who knows. So it might not work at all.
Either I'll be a ninja or I'll be a pirate. I'm happy to be one of the two.
You'll be the first
Watch
ever
it
ninja
better.
pirate. Madara with an eye patch. Yar. His Susanoo's a pirate ship.
Also,
I'm not capable of removing my own eye, so I'll need the help with this part.
This is, I am gladly going to assist you.
boy.
Are you sure?
So it has come to this.
So it has come to this. No, roll an Arcana check.
Which one of us?
You.
An Arcana.
Yeah.
All right. 19.
19. Okay. So in the past, all of the creature parts that you have found, like anything, they do tend to sort of rot away pretty quickly. It's odd that this one doesn't, but it makes you think that there's
The
probably...
sooner the better. Yeah.
Sorry?
The sooner the better we will start.
No, more that it seems like it's something that you could at least preserve in the state it's in some way, and then it could be useful for you're not sure what. You do remember previously you had found like the eyes of the phase spider, which
That
led
is able to cast plane shifts, I think.
it was blink, but
Blink.
still move it to the ethereal plane. There's some sort of residual magic around this eye. You're not entirely sure what it is, but potentially it could be transformed into a useful tool in that way.
Akko, if you're not willing to do it, well, we will just have to. Well, I'll just have to be as I am right now.
What about getting a third eye? Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, like Kaguya.
Gosh, remember how you had 2 mouths? Could you make Philophus have 3 eyes?
I could try.
Akko, can you do it?
But are you sure? Like,
Well, why wouldn't? Why? Of course.
We'll keep your like real eye just in case.
Oh man!
Thanks.
Guys are crazy.
I guess. Just before, okay. So, Akko, it's up to you if you're willing to try. But before we start, Moish, can I borrow your ring for a second?
You know what? Sure, Philophus.
Thanks.
we're not get- I haven't seen this.
Philandron says,
But what would happen all of
As soon as Pontifarlin and Kundarush to left are looking at each other.
the grown-ups are gone. Let's,
Yeah.
Philandron says, I mean, you do know that like right behind there is sort of the brain and everything.
Yeah, that's why I'm not asking Moish to do it.
Her hands are much more steady.
Yeah. I mean, if not the goddess herself, then I'm not sure if there's anyone capable of doing such complex procedure.
What sort of check would it even be?
do I roll? Like,
Well, that's the thing. It would be a number of different things. So Philophus would have to make a few different checks to allow it to even happen, because that would be incredibly painful, and he would eventually gut reaction twist away, which would mess stuff.
Can we also see if Sindrine can maybe
Wait.
convince Philophus not to do it?
Unless I'm drunk.
Yes, I was about to say anesthesia.
I
Just
No,
make-
Akko, if
doesn't
Akko,
seem
if you're not feeling comfortable doing it, or not feeling to do it, just not wanting to do it, we are fine.
We arrive in Pyrene covered in blood and crying, and Philophus is
Wow.
blind in both eyes somehow.
But if there's just this tiny little chance that you won't do it.
Sindrine does speak up and sort of ignores all of this and walks directly up to you, Philophus, and
Alright.
says, look, I agree. It would be really cool.
And it's settled.
Now,
Thanks. I was missing that one step. I was not sure, but thanks.
let me finish.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be entirely comfortable with Dyrrn, half of Dyrrn, looking at me as frequently as you do.
Ooh.
First of all, you do notice that I look at you, and then you always turn around.
Her backside looks better.
It's one of my best features.
Good point. I agree with that. Okay. All right. How to preserve it then?
Leg squat things.
I noticed, and I appreciate those. Okay.
My point is, I wouldn't enjoy Dyrrn ogling me the way that potentially, and she sort of takes a step back at this stage, I might enjoy the opposite. I doing so.
That's the closest, nicest thing that you ever told to me. All right. I need a jar to preserve the eye.
Aww.
Get used to it.
Alright, so what do you fill the jar with?
Uh,
Alcohol.
no.
It's gonna kill all the bacteria. Disinfect it.
No. I guess we are out of formalin.
Formaldehyde, yeah.
Maybe some grease would help. I don't know.
I have memory loss potion. We can plop it in there. In the vial with memory loss potion.
Okay, first of all, we need a jar or something, or any other thing that could carry it.
And I mean, look, if Dyrrn, like an essence of Dyrrn is like within the eye, putting it within the memory loss potion is gonna make him forget everything anyway. He's
And
gonna
I
forget
remember-
why he's evil.
And can an eye remember something?
Never know.
All right.
It's cell memory, so
They call it the evil eye for a reason.
You know what? I go here, and I gave it to her. I think you will be more. I mean, you know how to preserve an eye, don't you?
Just keep healing it at regular intervals.
Yeah.
It's not gonna rot that way, right?
I take it.
Keep it as a treasure.
Your bag.
What's it?
I don't know. In with the veggie patty thing. Oh, you threw that away. All right. Sure. Well, anyway, you decide what you put it. Philopus has given it to you.
I wrap it around my skin. My snake skin wraps it.
Wrapped in the snakeskin.
Yeah. Snake skin, my first paper to write down on.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird. With so many magic users, can literally none of us freeze it?
Freeze.
Yeah.
Not in such a way that it would stay frozen. I mean, what you mean is keep it frozen for long periods of time, but
Refrigerated is what I'm thinking.
no, we would have to ask for that to be made for us, a kind of bag of holding that could keep things cold and preserved.
What if we shove it in the mirror?
Or we can let Scorpion eat it.
I mean, at this stage, you're just trying to get rid of it so it doesn't tempt you.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough.
Oh no, Mr. Jefferson eats it and then develops the Rinnegan. Because he now has the genes.
That's another tempting idea, for sure.
Alright, everyone who wants to feed it to Mr. Jefferson, raise your I mean, come on, I hope the game master is gonna give him a buff after this.
I know what the thing does, so it's up to you guys to figure it out over time. In any case, you're interrupted in your musings as you see across the distance the airship beginning to approach. It still takes another like 30 minutes for it to get to you, but eventually Jameson comes bringing the airship down right alongside where he first dropped you off. He comes over to the side of the deck as he's lowering the plank down and says, hey, we might want to get a move on. I saw some fire spell things, and I think they spotted me, so we're going to move as fast as we can out of here. So everybody on.
Look, it's cool. We'll just shove this mirror at them, and it's gonna be fine.
Oh, you picked up some loot, huh? That's good.
Yeah.
And did
No,
think this
seriously. I bet that if we shove the mirror at them, that they'll just end up in the mirror, and the mirror will just absorb them.
Now that's a cool idea.
I know, right? All my ideas are cool, but various levels of
Okay,
destructive
but
as well.
you also meant said something about that when it.
While you're talking, move up and up.
Yeah, we are getting in.
Yeah, we're already talking on their ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so did you, is it done? Did you,
It's all good. We just all need to use the bathroom.
you could have done that before you came onto the ship where there isn't. I mean, I'm like, I can just go over the side when I need to. The
I assumed there was one, Jameson.
Well, no, I mean technically it's a curved ship, so if you just get your butt far enough out the edge, it works. I mean, the wind will carry it a bit. You gotta be careful of splatters, but
Yeah.
It's called tactical bombardment.
sure, yeah, I can see that.
I think I can hold. Thanks, James.
All right, well, we'll be back to Pyron in a handful of 4 hours from now. It'll be pretty late. We'll get there closer to midnight or so, but
Okay, guys, mirror on the ready. Let us go.
good. And with that, as you take off, leaving the tower and the drained lake, evaporated lake behind you, twinkles of spells off in the distance, we'll call it an evening, and we'll pick up there next time.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching. You all are beautiful. Bye.
Gorgeous. Fantabulous.
Subscribe,
Stunning.
else you'll explode in 24 hours.